What happens when you mix a paladin with guaranteed criticals? Well, we're going to find out in today's build. Let's do it. Before getting started on the video, I want to give a big shout out to Obvious Mimic, the Crystals of Zleth. The Crystals of Zleth is a solo campaign that is a survival-based campaign. I'm really excited to play it. I haven't played it yet, but I totally want to, and when I do, I'm going to try and bring you guys some content around it. I did play the Wolves of Lanston, the previous solo campaign created by Obvious Mimic, and I had a ton of fun. It was dripping with atmosphere, and that was more of a murder mystery, so I'm excited how they tackled the survival genre. You can find a link in the description down below. But with that, my friends, let's jump into the build. So the idea behind this build is that we're going to be going 3 into Assassin Rogue, 17 into Vengeance Paladin. The idea being that if we go before someone who is surprised, we get to hit them, get an automatic crit, get to drop an automatic crit smite, and do a ton of damage and have a lot of fun. Bonus points for having a subclass pairing that basically writes itself. Vengeance Paladin plus Assassin. Wonder what we're going to be doing with our assassination skills. So overall, it comes together nicely, but let's go through the details of this build. Starting off with the lineage, I'm going to be going half elf. We don't even need Tasha's variant on this. We can just take the stats because they're fantastic. And really, the main reason we're here is because we get +4 stats, and this is a stat-hungry build. Of course, half elf comes with a bunch of extra bonuses and a bunch of different variant bonuses as well. I'm just going to be taking the extra skills because I think it matches the rogue out of combat playstyle a lot, so I'm going to go ahead and go with that. As for our stats, we're going to be going Dex primary, Charisma secondary, and Constitution tertiary. But we're going to also need a strength of at least 13 to multiclass out of Paladin. As for our leveling structure, we're going to be going 2 into Paladin, which is unusual. Then we're going to be going 3 into Rogue Assassin, and the rest of our levels are going to be going into Vengeance Paladin. So why do we go into Paladin first? Well, we get medium armor, we get shields, we get wisdom saves, throw on a rapier, we're good to go. That's why. Here it is worth mentioning that unlike most paladins, we can just throw a bow on our back, and anytime there's ranged combat, we can just draw that instead and we're good to go. Level 2, we're going to get smites and a fighting style. Defense fighting style definitely stands out to me as the most efficient. You could go dueling for more damage, but because we're more reliant on getting one big attack off, dueling isn't going to shine the way it shines if you're doing a ton of attacks. Another reason is we're going to be getting the extra attack feature late, so we're going to be getting fewer attacks throughout our career just in general. So I just feel like dueling isn't optimal, where defense fighting style is just the baseline, what you go to if nothing else is optimal. Now, because we're going to be sneaking pretty often, we can't go with our half plate. We're going to have to go with breastplate, but breastplate plus +1 AC from the defense fighting style plus a shield still gets us to a very reasonable 19 AC with no penalty to sneaking. Level 3, we're going to be going into rogue. Here we're going to get sneak attack, which we can just weave in just like normal. We're going to get expertise in a couple skills. I'm going to be looking at base skills, definitely stealth because we need to assassinate someone, but past that I'm thinking maybe persuasion, maybe intimidation because we're hunting someone down. Where are they? I think I'm thinking intimidation, and it matches the face that the paladin is bringing. So I like going expertise and intimidation with rogue because it really bridges the gap between the two and unites them together in a really nice, satisfying way to me. Level 4, we get cunning action, which increases the utility of our bonus action significantly. Paladins are notorious for wanting to get into melee combat, and having bonus action dash really helps us get there. Situations get hairy, sometimes we need to retreat, bonus action disengage. Bonus action hide can just set up advantage for us, which is going to in turn give us more crits, which gives us more crit smites and crit sneak attacks, which is ultimately what we're here for. Level 5, we get assassin, and we begin our primary combo that if we hit someone that we went first in initiative and they're surprised, we get automatic crits. Now once we get an automatic crit, we can drop an automatic crit smite to do insane amounts of damage. You can even bonus action wrathful smite before this attack, so it does even more damage and has potential to debuff them. At level 6, we're going back into Paladin for Paladin 3 Vengeance. Vow of Enmity has fantastic synergy with rogue. Because it chooses one enemy for a bonus action and gives us advantage on all of our attacks, it means we can proc sneak attacks in a one-on-one fight, which normally rogues can't. So this is a fantastic way to make us better at a frontal confrontation with someone, which Paladin should be able to do. So I like how that bridges the flavors of rogue and Paladin together in another really cool and satisfying way. On top of that, Abjure Enemy, Hunter's Mark, and Bane are all fantastic additions that we get by going Vengeance Paladin. Even though they're not going to be our main focus, I guarantee there's going to be times where these features shine. Level 7, we get our first ASI, and this is actually an interesting discussion. Do we go more dexterity or do we go more charisma? Just keep in mind that our main damage comes from the combination of sneak and smite, which gain no benefits from dexterity outside of accuracy, but keeping in mind that we're going to be attacking with advantage, so accuracy is something that kind of comes with us. By going into charisma, we're going to be enhancing aura of protection, probably the most busted feature of the game, on top of making something like wrathful smite much more efficient. So I'm leaning charisma, but I think there's an argument for both. If you you do go dexterity, I think 18 would be a perfect amount to stop at. I don't think you really need to push it to 20. 18 and then charisma would be just fine. As for half feats, taking a look at elven accuracy can be fantastic for this build. We can create advantage in several different ways. So by having that super advantage, we'll be getting our crits more often, be hitting more often. And so I think that's a better option than dexterity for accuracy if we can manage it. Level 8 or Paladin 5, we're going to be getting extra attack, and extra attack is a huge deal on this build. Now, if we went straight rogue, just a rogue assassin versus the build we've been doing, they kind of go back and forth until you hit extra attack, and then the paladin just goes way out ahead. Well, why? Well, because on that turn where we get advantage and automatic crits, that first turn of combat, if we've surprised an enemy, it's every attack we do. So we can attack once, drop a massive smite on their head along with our sneak attack so that they take a crazy amount of damage, very potentially killing them. If it doesn't, we just drop another one. We hit them again, drop another smite, it automatically gets a crit, and we just devastate someone. But let's say we did kill them on that first attack. Well, now we can bonus action dash, get to the next person, smack them in the face so long as they haven't gone before us in combat, drop another crit smite, do a ton of damage right out the gate. It takes the numbers that were once fairly comparable and just puts them way ahead for the paladin multi-class, which is cool. We're also getting our second level paladin spells, which means we're getting Find Steed. Find Steed largely works like a cunning action on steroids that we don't have to use our bonus action for, but there's going to be times where we want to hide, use our steed in different ways. I like the idea where we like ride behind some trees and then our steed keeps running out, but we're no longer there because we took the hide action in between. A lot of fun to be had mixing cunning action and your steed together, even though there is some overlap. Level 9, Paladin 6, we get Aura of Protection, which of course is cracked. One of the amazing things about this build is because we have a bonus action disengage, we can often get to where we need to go even if we don't have our Find Steed with us, so we can position ourselves around our crucial allies to buffer their saves. Level 10, we get Paladin 7, which we get Ruthless Avenger, which is just a mid-tier feature. Reaction, we can move half our movement when they proc an opportunity attack from us. Mid. Level 11 or Paladin 8, we're going to do a charisma bump again. And that's really it. As we continue in our levels, we're going to keep doing what we've been doing. As far as stats, taking either fantastic feats, maximizing charisma, bumping up your dex a little bit are the areas I'm going to be looking at. Lucky feat comes to mind just to increase our accuracy more than a dex bump probably can. So yeah, that would probably be good. In combat, we're largely going to play like a paladin, except for that first turn where we go absolutely crazy. From there, we'll probably just do standard paladin things. And out of combat, we'll be doing more rogue central things, having our excellent skills, sneaking around and whatnot. But what's cool is they also mix. It's not perfectly just paladin in combat. Sometimes you're going to be playing around your sneak attack, and that feels more rogue, but overall more paladin. And out of combat, sometimes we're going to be more focused on being a face than a rogue normally might. Kind of mix some paladin in there. I really like this multi-class. I think the flavors come together really well and the mechanics enhance that. Best part is the story between them. The story damn near writes itself. All right, with that, my friends, I hope you have yourselves an incredible day, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.